That's fine. No, we don't want to do that.
Uh, Well, I don't know. I think it's pretty interesting. An 80
I'm
foot
sure.
brake barrel.
I'm sure. Shh. Need like a come along and a winch to cock it.
Nope. Uh-uh. No, sir.
Mute it. No, we don't want to do that.
It's a mutant.
All right. Here we are. We are live again.
We are.
Airgun guys. That's a weak intro, Travis. That was horrible.
We're back for more.
Terrible. Oh my gosh.
my
All
back,
right,
my back's itching.
Start over on that one? Oh my
The
goodness.
problem
Terrible.
is, Rick, I forgot to turn the heater on down here, so I got my park. It's like 22 degrees below zero down here in the garage. So, yeah, I'm just trying to stay alive through this at this point.
You know, just put some fat on you and you'll be fine.
Hey, I'm average.
Anyway,
height and weight.
so I guess let's get right to it. Hello, everybody. It's another episode of the Airgun Guys. My name's Rick Utzler.
Travis Whitney.
And we are here to talk about air guns, all kinds of cool things. You got Travis, who's an engineer and can not tell us about anything he's doing because he signed all kinds of paperwork to that effect.
I can hint, though.
You can hint. And
I can hint about things.
You could be like the first time you bring it, like, I got this, and be brand new with it. You can do that. I, on the other hand, I just do a lot of shooting of stuff Travis doesn't want to ever touch. So I can talk about things from that perspective. But we're also here to answer your questions. So if you guys have any questions, I have kind of a topic I want to hit on today because I think it's important. But before we get going, if you have any airgun questions, what kind of gun to buy, what kind of pellet to buy, if this gun's a good gun or that gun's a terrible gun, if you want to just ask any questions, throw it out there. But the topic I was thinking of today, are you ready, Travis?
Yeah, I'm ready.
It's should you or should you not upgrade your airgun? And when should you do it if you choose to?
Good question. Good question, huh?
Yeah.
And I think that's dependent on most people's ability to work with tools and the knowledge they have. So, without the knowledge, you should probably not do anything to your gun.
That's a good point.
I mean, you really got to know what you're doing. One, safety reasons, and two, what's your goal, what's your end goal, and how are you going to get there, and do you have the ability to get there based on what you know and your mechanical skills. So I guess that's how I would look at it.
All right. Well, we've got a couple questions already on the topic. I mean, have already hit. Okay. So Don wants to know, do tune-up kits reduce velocity?
Tune up. Well, typically the word tune up means more. So if it's reducing velocity and it's a tune-up kit, it's a pretty crappy one.
Well, what if the tune-up kit is to tune up your accuracy and not necessarily your power?
Mm-hmm. Or tune up your trigger. Maybe it's a tune up your trigger kit.
So I think that you got to know what they're claiming it's supposed to do before you make any judgments there.
Go ahead.
Got another question. Jason guy asked, does JSAR still offer polyagonal non-choke barrels? I don't know that they are. I would have to reach out to Jacob.
No, I know they don't.
Okay, then no, they don't.
I don't work, but hey, listen, I don't work there. I haven't in a long time, but the polyagonal barrel thing did not work out very well. So I highly doubt if they have any brains in their heads left that they go down that route.
Yeah, just say no.
Just say no.
Yeah, I got it.
Better ways to do things.
Richard Harris is asking Travis if you've done the rebuild video on the Zydeco compressor yet.
I did do it, and it will be released by Zydeco on their website, and that should happen within the next couple weeks, I think. But yeah, it's done.
Cool. Okay, so on this question, I talked in length with a gentleman today, nice guy, and he watched our video. Remember when we did the video a year plus ago, year and a half ago, and we rebuilt my Marauder 25? Remember
Yes.
that?
Yeah.
And we
I'm
had
not
it
that old.
cooking 60 some, 60 some foot-pounds just by dropping the valve in and the hammer and cool stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I get, gosh, the phone ringing off the hook. And if you're looking for JSTAR parts, you can get them at airgunproshop.com
Mm-hmm.
because we work directly with JSTAR. We're sort of their conduit. They just send us parts and we make sure they go out to the customers. So if you, hey there, Mark, hi from Texas.
Hey.
If you are looking for those parts, and we have a bunch in stock, the valve, the hammer, some twin spring systems, etc. If you're looking for those parts, you can get them at airgunproshop.com. I talk to people about that video a couple times a week anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I found, because look, I used to tweak and tune things in the beginning, and then I just got where I found when I would take something that worked pretty good and try and do something to it, I always made it worse. I never went better. So I kind of just gave up on it. But when we started doing this project with JSAR, I got a couple orders in for like some 22 cal Marauders. And what I learned was really, if you just take time to tune the factory stock valve right, you actually got pretty good results with just the factory gun set up correctly.
Yeah, you can do pretty good. You can get really good efficiency. You can get, you can up your shot count. You can do a lot of things with the factory valve. Its limitations is power and trying to make, substantial more power. That's its limitations.
Right. Now, see, that would be where I struggled, because I put the JSTAR valve in the 22 and I just lost any semblance of consistency. No matter what I did, it's like it wanted something heavier to be going out the barrel. It wanted the 25 cal to really work best.
And when you're working with something like that, like a balance valve, you really got to know your stuff. It's not something you can just drop in there and just throw ammo in it and start shooting. You got to know about hammer weights, spring weights, what is too much, what is not enough. And the one thing you're going to need, Rick, and you know what that is?
Yes, a chronograph.
A chronograph.
Can't tell you how many times.
Yeah. Without a chronograph, you are lost in the world with PCPs. So number one thing you get when you get a PCP, chronograph.
Well, I think number one thing you get when you get an air gun, if you want to diagnose what's going on with your gun, you got to have a way to measure its performance. And that device that measures its performance is a chronograph. And they're super affordable. Like super
cheap.
I use the Pro Chrono Digital Bluetooth, and it goes right to my phone. I can record it on my iPhone and just save the screen. I can go back. I use that on all my videos. It talks to you, so you don't even have to you can shoot it and it'll tell you what. It's just really, really cool. I use that a ton.
Let me show you what I use. Hold on.
Okay. All right. And we've got more questions we'll throw out here in a second.
Yeah. Okay. What I use is the cheapest chronograph on the whole planet. And it holds shot strings. They make a Bluetooth version that'll go to your phone. This one doesn't. This one's super, super cheap. Though this LDC, it has Bluetooth in it. So it measures speed too, something I built. So a chronograph built into an LDC that's Bluetooth. Something pretty cool I built. But anyway, so here's that chronograph. It's in, let's see. And you can get this off of Amazon. It's an AC 5000 chronograph, and it's used for paintball.
Yeah.
So what I do is, it has a little neck on it right here, Rick, and I just put a rubber piece of, hose, and I find it that fits on the end of my chronograph. I mean, on the end of my LDC, my silencer. I just set it on there, and then on the front of it, it has a screen, lights up right there, so it tells you your velocity, your speed. The nice thing about this is it works day or night. It doesn't need any lighting at all, and it measures really precisely because it's right on the end of the muzzle of the gun, and it costs $60.
I was curious if the paintball, or not the paintball, but the airsoft cronies would work with, and that any caliber, it works with all the
Any caliber,
177
any
F.
speed. Well, I've used it up to 1,200 feet per second, which is more than anyone should use one to with an air rifle. But and it has a little 9-volt battery, and I've never replaced it yet. And it has auto shut off, so it shuts itself off.
Yeah.
And this thing is the best because it doesn't require any lighting. I can shoot in pure darkness or on the brightest, sunniest day when like my Caldwell will have problems outside because it'll get light come down and it measures like a third of the pellets I shoot over it. This little $60 guy.
I'll have to give that a try.
Amazon, man. Amazon.
I've wanted to try one. Now I get it, and I like the way you rigged it up to sort of just
boom.
Yep. That would be interesting to try. So let's get to some of these questions. You ready?
Well, you don't want to talk about my Bluetooth silencer?
No, I don't want to talk about your Bluetooth silencer. It's you built, right? It's you built.
I built it.
I know. I'm sure you did. Back in your little machine shop, Mad Lab scientist thing going on.
Like I'm making things up around here.
Well, that's why you do get paid the big bucks, right? Okay, so
I get paid
we're gonna go back up. There's a gentleman asking a question here. My question is: a shorter pellet better for the Avenger 25 cal or longer? I've shot the Mark IIs and I've shot the regular 25s, and I know Angie has a video coming out probably this Saturday, and she is shooting the JSB Slugs out of it and was crushing some game with it, just devastating. So
did he say the shorter or the longer pellets? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically the difference between those two pellets is weight specifically. There's almost no difference in the BC and in the flight characteristics. There's simply a weight difference. So it depends on how where you got your reg set on your Avenger and your hammer spring adjustment. So if you got that set up to shoot the heavies, then shoot the heavies. If you got it set up to shoot the lights, shoot the lights.
I have
that gun shoots a lot of things. Good.
I think that gun is extremely forgiving, and I've had guns that would not shoot short pellets. You had to shoot like the Crossman Premiers. They're relatively short, or the Field Target Trophies, or those. It wouldn't take them, but the longer, like Barracuda Match, it liked those. Those are physically longer, and the weight distribution is different. And just I've had guns that had a preference because the 25 cal really doesn't have. I mean, it's not like 22 where you have 80 or 90 different types of pellets to play with.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you have like 4. I mean, really. So I mean, there's more. I get it, but you're shooting JSB 25s, or you're shooting the JSB Mark II heavies.
H&M, Barracuda.
Or you're. I haven't found. Like the Barracuda
Slugs.
Match in 25 have been pretty good.
Yeah.
So I guess
that gun shoots a lot of things good.
So I think that gun's very forgiving. If you're finding it's not forgiving, then let us know which pellets you found shoot better. Then you can educate us a little bit.
And the thing too is you get a lot of guns that shoot really good, and then someone has the same exact gun and it shoots terrible. You probably got a barrel issue or something's out of whack. Your magazine's out of whack. The O-ring's blowing out of your barrel, whatever. Go to the Gateway Airguns, tell them your problem. We'll solve it for you.
Yeah, I actually want to show people the website in case they're not familiar with it. We'll do that here in a minute.
Yeah.
Gentleman's asking about the Leashy 2. Have you played with it yet?
I haven't got one yet. And here's the deal with that. It's like the #1 gun on my list right now to get a hold of and to test. Unfortunately, like 99.9% of my day right now is testing guns that are not in production yet. Yeah. So I'm still, let me shut that off.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm still trying to get caught up, and yeah, it's definitely high on my list. Though I do have so many semi-autos right now, it's just it's just another one to add to the quarry I have. But it's something I really want to check out.
Okay, so there's a couple questions here. There's one I want to address and
Hmm.
get your opinion on. Corey's asking, why hasn't the airgun community taken advantage of longer needle style slug shape for a higher BC? Well, I mean, if you look at all of the small bore stuff, the magazines are like that tall. So
Yeah.
you really couldn't. Longer, like take the Texan that has a 257 option, or I think JSR Raptor, they had a 257 option. Some of these guns that have a big breech area, you can actually use the longer bullets. And the other side of it is that most of the barrels that are set for magazines like that, the twist rate will not work with the longer bullet. So you got to have a completely different bullet and a gun that can actually chamber those rounds for it to work. And frankly, that's not like a mainstream. That's a very niche thing. And there are
It's a niche thing, that's for sure. And the second part of that is when you get into a long projectile, like he's talking about, the longer it gets, the heavier it gets.
Mhm.
So you got to have a gun that can produce the power to launch something that long like that. And when you get into small bores that has a very small cross section across the back of the pellet and not much area for the pressure to push on, those long, heavy projectiles are really hard to launch,
Yeah.
unless you have really high pressure to work with or really long barrels. So it's just something that's not, manufacturers aren't really looking at doing. There's a lot of people, experimenting. Once again, on the GTA, if you go to Gateway Air Guns, you'll see that there's a whole section of people shooting 172 and 257 and long projectiles that are fantastic for shooting long distance and holding a lot of energy. That's the real goal.
I know that I've been over to Dave's place, which is Hunter Supply.
Yeah.
And I'm jealous of his range. I know you're not supposed to covet thy neighbor's anything, but I do covet his range. It's 1,200 meters. It's wonderful.
Nice.
The backstop is the Continental Divide. It's about as picturesque as you could get. But he was shooting the 308 Texan at 1,200 yards. And that obviously uses a big, long bullet that he makes.
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
That's a gun that can do it, though. You know what I mean?
That's an example, but you're not going to get
bang.
that. Yeah, you're not going to get that out of the mainstream Marauder type,
No.
Avenger type. You're just not going to get it. They won't work.
You can't make that kind of power.
I'll say that the new Slugs. We'll keep coming back to this. Joe's on here, right? So we're going to keep pushing this because Joe's here, and he can go tell JSB what a good job we're doing for him, right? But the JSB Slugs. If you notice the airgun slugs, they have a little pocket at the back.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that they're not flat; they have a little pocket. And
you got to have that pocket in an air rifle.
That is super important. But I found that the airgun slugs, like they're making, I haven't seen them impacted by a choked barrel like a standard slug would. They seem to do very well. I got a video coming out. It just came out. It dropped yesterday. I did a long form video on the Umrex Origin. Still my absolute favorite gun for new PCP buyers. Okay. People will argue with me. I don't care.
Argue if you want.
If you don't have anything and you need a way to fill it and you need a gun for $350, you are getting one hell of an air gun. And there you go. That's the little JSB Slug. And my best group I got in the wind at 50 yards is less than half an inch.
It's bananas, huh?
And it was great. And I didn't touch
a slug, man.
I haven't done anything to the gun. Haven't touched the trigger. Haven't touched the hammer spring. Just shooting it. Now I will be doing a video where we'll start tweaking some of those settings and see if we can get them better. Yeah. And I think I just lost video.
You froze, but I think it's cool.
Let me switch cameras. Okay, let me switch cameras.
I wasn't gonna say anything. It's just gonna go like
there you go.
Fixed it.
I did fix it. I got redundancy, baby. Redundancy.
My favorite pellet of all time, man.
Really?
right there.
Well, next episode, we're going to be unboxing something
Woo.
Joe sent me. And I would have had time to play with some of them, but they're a variant of that's bigger.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So anyway, we'll talk about that then. Logan's asking me a question. He says, what's a reasonable price for a 4x12 by 40 airgun scope for an Umrex Springer? Any Springer, I'm going to say, this is my
$12
opinion. I almost did something with this hand to you, but I refrained. I would say go with a Hawk Vantage IR. It has an etched glass reticle. It'll hold up to a Springer. You're looking at about $180 or so, give or take. And we actually have them at Airgun Pro Shop to check it out. But yeah, they're MAP prices. If you find one, get it. Just a good scope. But go with the Vantage IR because anything that's illuminated reticle with Hawk is going to have an etched glass reticle, and with a Springer, that's what you want. If it's a wire reticle, depending on the Springer,
knock it right off there, huh?
Yeah. Another question here. I wish they sold the P-rod valve. I wish they had the P-rod valve too. And as soon as I can get some, we're going to do like a big blast on it.
If I had $1 for every time someone asked me for one of those P-rod valves, I could probably almost retire. They were fantastic. They worked so darn good. I'm serious. They were so good. And in that little gun, and I got a kit coming up for a P-rod bullpup kit that I'm going to do a grip video on.
Okay.
And so guess what I have to do? You have to make
your own valve.
My own valve. And then I'm going to get 400 emails. Where did you get that balanced P-rod valve? And I'm going to have to take pictures of me making it myself, just so they know I had to make it myself. But I hope JSAR will make those in the future. I just signed the patents over to them. So they have full ability to do that now.
Good.
Yeah, so
I know that
for free, Rick, for a service to the community.
Try not to interrupt you, but I'm failing miserably. I know that you were here not too long ago. We actually worked because I got one P-rod valve for a customer that had been waiting for over a year, and we got his gun shooting pretty well for him. I haven't heard from him, so I'm guessing he's happy.
Yeah, that's the best customers. You send them something, you never hear from them again.
Let's see. When will the 30 cal Hades be available? Interestingly enough, that might not be that far away. Catch us next episode.
Yeah. I know something. I know something there.
So going to bring up the Daisy 880 soon. This guy's giving me a little bit of a hassle. Not really. Actually, I just did a video of the Crossman 1322 pump pistol. Yeah. And it went really well. So, I mean, people ask for the 880. I've actually got one, so I am going to do a review of that. So there. Why not? Having fun with it.
I think that was probably my second or third air rifle. My first one, Rick, I don't know which one it is, and maybe you do.
Gosh, so many comments. I'm trying to keep up. Keep going.
It was a Crossman gun. This was when I was a kid, like 12 years old, so like 1,000 years ago. So imagine you put pellets or BBs in it. It had a little thing you cock on the side, and you had BBs on the top to show, so you can see there's like 10 BBs in the slot, and you cocked it underneath. I don't know what model. Do you know what model that is?
Nope.
I don't know.
They had a bunch of those like that.
Like a zillion. Yeah. But that was my first one. You could put a pellet in one at a time, or it held a bunch of BBs in the top and a little slot.
I think pretty much all of the little pumpers did that. The 760.
This had to have been back in the 70s, though.
Well, see, I was in diapers in the 70s, Travis. So, well, not all through the 70s, obviously, but early 70s. Anyway, let's see. I've got to jump through. I can't keep up with all of the questions.
Good. More the merrier.
Yeah. Joe's asking for his balance valve. So when you go to make one, you need to make at least a half a dozen. And we'll auction them off to raise money for the Airgun Expo. So just do a whole bunch of them. It'll be fine. You got nothing better to do.
I don't have anything to do
in your spare time.
In my spare time. You know what I do in my spare time? That's between about 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. I try to sleep. That's what I do.
What a pansy.
I got to get sleep sometime. But right. You know, Joe, I could probably wing one out for Joe.
And?
Probably.
And?
Myself, I need one. I told you that earlier.
You're not catching
for the bullpup kit. Weren't you paying attention, Rick?
I heard you.
Okay.
I'm ignoring that part.
Okay.
Look, let's be serious now. Gentlemen asked a legitimate question.
Yeah.
Are they going to make a 25 cal semi-automatic Marauder? I don't know. I haven't played with the 22. I don't know if it's any good.
I don't even know why they make the semi-auto Marauder now.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to buy one, I guess. I can't get Crossman to return my email.
It's an open bolt gun. You know how I feel about open bolt.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
All right. Well, while he's gone, maybe we can get some of these questions. Let's see. I'm going way back up here. Question for Travis regarding Rick's origin testing. Do you think some of Rick's accuracy with pellets is lack of a crown on those barrels? We'll ask Travis. Actually, I had 15 to 20 mile an hour winds, which I think were a bigger reason the accuracy wasn't great, because I've shot 3/4 inch groups at 50 yards with that gun in the past. But every day, you know, sometimes you have good days, sometimes you have bad days. Goodness. Wow. We are, I can't keep up. Guys, I apologize. I'm not going to get to all these questions. No way.
Got it.
What you got?
Okay. So I keep talking about an open bolt.
Yes.
Semi-auto.
Yes.
Which I've shown everyone those here plenty. This is an SK-19. It shoots directly out of the magazine, which open bolt does too. It shoots directly out of the magazine. It uses a bolt that pushes the pellet out of the magazine into the barrel. And to do that, it has to have a big old spring back here and a hammer to go bang, 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 and shove it out. This doesn't do that. It shoots air back here inside the valve directly through the magazine and out the barrel.
Right.
So this is an open magazine with no bolt.
Yeah. You know, that's not new, because the Evanix AR6 has been doing that for a decade.
No, the AR6 did it. You're right. But this refinement though is bananas.
I shot one of those.
Bananas.
I didn't like it.
Oh, how could you not like it?
I didn't like it.
Man.
Because well, I didn't like it. I didn't like the cycling.
It's like the best thing ever.
I didn't like it. It's not the best gun ever. I didn't like it.
That's
okay. You can like it.
Buy 1,000 of them. That's what I would do. If I won the lotto, swim in them, put them in all the water out of my hot tub, and I'd fill it up with them. Jump in there.
All right. Okay. If you're gonna have to snuggle with the gun, we know which one you would pick. We got it.
No, we already talked about that. It's got to be wood.
I know. We got that.
Yeah.
Somebody asked a good question. I'm trying to go back and find it here. Let's see. Oh, it was a good question. Okay, well, let me go back to the one this guy asked. And you were out of the room, and you haven't seen my video I did on the Origin, but my groups at 50, but I had like some pretty good wind going. The 1813's groups are probably 2 inches, which is about twice what I normally get out of them. But the slugs, once I adjusted my hold on the gun, just all dropped in like 1/2 inch. So I think I had 2 things going on. One was wind, and 2, I wasn't holding the gun properly to get the best accuracy out of it. So I don't know that I'd blame the gun, because you shot my Origin. It shot great.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think the result was not to do with the crown and non-crown barrel. It was Rick behind the trigger. I think that's the issue with that gun.
That's probably the issue with any time Rick touches a gun.
That was rude. That was just rude. Ouch. You enjoyed that.
Boom.
All right. That's nice. I got the mute button, buddy. All right. Oh, okay. Let me go back down here. Just got my Hots on 30 Carnivore Springer. All right, Paul, that gun's a great gun. I love that gun. It doesn't shoot fast, but man, it shoots hard for a break barrel. And right now, it's the most powerful break barrel on the market.
Right now it is.
And we'll move on. That was great.
That's one of those things I can't really talk about much, Rick.
Yeah, I got you. Angie's asking for you to send her. Oh, she wants one of the full autos.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that SK does full auto, which
I know, and it was like the full auto was maybe a little faster.
Well, on that,
yeah,
on the SK,
yeah.
No, it goes like a bananas. It goes like a zillion.
Does it go like a banana?
It goes. It'll dump the whole magazine in less than a second. Do you want me to shoot it out the door, Rick?
No, I do not want you to shoot it out.
Okay.
You're
wrong.
It's more than a second.
No.
It's got to be.
It'll dump that whole magazine in a second. All 16 shots. 19 shots. 19.
See, I had one and I ran it full auto and I don't remember it being that fast. But all right, I'll take your word for it.
No, you're not going to take my word for it. I'm going to show you.
All right, hold on. Stopwatch.
All right, she's flipped to full auto.
Hold on, I got to get my stopwatch out.
You're not going to need a stop.
I am going to need it because I don't trust you. Hold on. Mr. Okay, when I say go, you go.
Do you see me?
I do. How do you know you're going to do the whole mag?
You ready?
Hold on. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
That's it.
2 seconds, 2.41 seconds.
What did I say?
A second.
I exaggerated.
Yeah, that's what I told you.
That's still fast.
Oh, to me it was like a 50 count. That's what it felt like.
It's moving pretty good, man.
Yeah.
But here's the thing though with it though. Even when it's, let me turn this back this way. Even when it's doing that at 50 yards, it's still making a group like 3/4 of an inch.
I'm glad you like it. I didn't like it.
But
that's all right.
Bananas.
That's all right.
Bananas.
Glad you like it.
Yeah.
You can like it.
I can. And I do.
Yeah. How much are they?
Huh?
How much do they cost?
What's that?
How much is that gun?
Which gun?
The one you were just shooting.
Today?
Oh gosh, that's it. We're done.
My wife's in the next room.
Yeah.
Here. I can't say those things. You're trying to get.
Oh.
I'll be sleeping out in the snow tonight, Rick.
Yeah. Oh, I get it.
I don't have enough body fat for that.
I got it. You don't want to disclose the value of such things.
I'm not crazy.
Based on
I may look crazy, but
potential marital repercussions. I understand.
Yeah,
I got it. Okay, so here we are. We're about a half an hour in. I want to get back to my original question, all right, which was, is it worth doing airgun upgrades? And let me tell you what I think, and then Travis can correct me. How's that?
I'll correct him. Don't worry.
Seems to be the path of the day. If let's say I want a gun, we'll talk accuracy first. If I want a gun that shoots 1/2 inch at 50 yards, I'm going to go and find a gun that shoots 1/2 inch at 50 yards out of the box. I don't want to buy a gun that's 1 inch or 3.
Oh, he locked up again. So guess what? I get to answer the question. You buy the most expensive gun you want, or you buy the cheapest gun you want. More than likely, you're still going to have to mess with it because that's the nature of PCPs. Rick's locked up over there in Wonderland, so my answer's right because it's the only Only one there is right now. But anyway, truthfully, if you buy a low-end gun, sub $500 gun, you're probably going to mess with it to make it shoot sub half-inch. Though some can do it pretty well, like the Avenger or the Origin, they can do it. Most won't. So the higher-end guns typically will. Like the FX Impacts and LCS and a bunch of other guns I got. They'll all do it, but they cost quite a bit more. So when he's asking, should you upgrade your gun? I guess the answer is if what your goals are. Are you happy with the way it shoots? Are you a guy who likes to tinker with things? Do you have the necessary skills and knowledge to do it? They're all these things are super important to know.
All right. I think I'm back.
Oh, all right. Next question.
Yeah. So I don't know where I was, but okay, we'll leave it there. We had some sort of internet glitch, and that's just the way it is. So I apologize. Anyway, what I was saying, and I'm sure you took over, was that I tend to look for something that does what I needed to do out of the box, not try to make it do something that it was never intended to do. Now, what do you think of that philosophy?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Well, I already answered it, Rick.
Oh, I missed it. What did you say?
You just weren't here. Well, my philosophy, and I'll repeat myself, is that we go back to your skill level and your knowledge. If you don't have the skill level or knowledge to play with your guns, then don't do it, or send it to somebody who can. There's some gunsmiths out there, Motorhead, Rocker One, all these guys on the GTA that can mess with these guns if you don't have the knowledge. If you want to do it, though, I say, make sure you know what you're up against. It's not always super difficult, but there's safety concerns with high pressure, and you got to know how to see things that might not be right. So I would say spend some time, build up your knowledge base, and make sure you have the right tools and knowledge of how to use those tools before you go messing with PCPs. Otherwise, go find something that already does it and buy it.
Yeah, okay. I agree with that. If you're into it for hobby and it's what you enjoy and it's fun, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
When I started working on guns, and there's really it's not like there's when I started working for a particular manufacturer, they didn't have any guides of how to take their guns apart and put them back together. And they just said, we need you to figure it out. And so I just went into every project with the anticipation I was going to brick it while I learned it. And I didn't do that too often. There was an occasion where I just, okay, well, that's the wrong order in doing that. We won't do that again.
Right.
But most of the time, if you take your time and are very methodical and you lay all your parts out in a nice fashion and you're careful to watch the little springs and little ball bearings that like to fly across the room, they're not that difficult to work on.
Most of them aren't.
Yeah, most. There are some that are an absolute pain.
That brings me to the point. What is your least favorite gun to work on? I have one I know right off the top of my head.
Least favorite gun to work on?
Yeah, like
probably
the most difficult, most wrenching gun. You go, oh man, I do not want to work on that thing.
It was a Sumatra 2500.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. It's not even close. Anything made by BSA. That's all I can say. Anything.
Well, I haven't taken them apart. So let me do one. I got some that have some leaking issues, so I'll be able to get into the middle of that.
BSA?
And, yeah.
Which one? Do you know when the model?
Little bit of information. BSA had a little span of time where they had a bunch of bad O-rings. So I've got about 6 or 8 of them that leak. So anytime you want to come and be tortured, just come on over.
Oh no, man. When you can't take the barrel off of a gun without completely disassembling the whole gun to do it,
Yeah.
You've made a bad decision on your
Design
engineering
problem.
aspect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, okay.
Crazy.
Yes, I'm gonna see. Now I'm trying to see if I can. No, I guess it just is what we may have lost the chat, unfortunately. So, okay. Well, it is a little after 7. We've lost the chat. It appears to be. We've answered some good questions, and let's send them home with this, Travis.
Okay.
As of April, we are going to be moving the show to Gateway to Airguns. So we're going to make sure we have marketing material out, links on Facebook, things letting everybody know that the show will be moving over to the Gateway to Airguns YouTube page. So that's important. We'll also be putting links on Gateway to Airguns so you guys can go to the show from there. So be every other Tuesday right now. If things go where we need to do more often, then we'll figure out when to do it. We'll just do it, right?
Yeah, that sounds great. And hopefully we'll have all the bugs worked out. And, that's what we're doing. We're getting.
I've got a new way to stream, which I think what I'll do next week is I may try a different setup.
Okay.
And if that works, then we won't be tied to our crappy DSL internet here. We'll have something a little bit better to work with. So I will try that next time. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Fantastic. So, all right, guys. Travis from Gateway to Airguns and many other things.
Yeah. Rick here with Airgun Web and Airgun Web Media Group.
And many other things.
We'll catch you guys. Yeah, and many other things. And we will catch you guys here in a couple weeks. Thanks, you guys, for coming up and hanging out with us.
Have a great one, guys.